just now realizing I wore a flannel in my last video too. This is what being bored with locks gets you. It's giving main character of an anime vibe. Hi my little Mayflowers. My name is Amani Benny Mayfield, and today I'm going to share with you some hairstyles you can do on shorter locks. Before I get into it, I do want to say that no two heads of locks look the same. So the way a hairstyle turns out on my hair may look a little different than the way it turns out on your hair. That being said, I do also want to say that the more similar your locks are to mine, the more similar the results will be. But even then, they are going to look a little different. As you can see, I have medium locks, around 80, and my edges tend to be skinnier, shorter, weaker, especially this one, compared to the middle of my head, where my locks tend to be longer and thicker, which also influences how the hairstyles turn out on my locks. So all you're gonna need really are scrunchies, small ones, and preferably without the metal band, and maybe bobby pins and clips. For this first hairstyle, we are going to do Bantu knots along the edges of our hair. You're gonna grab 2 locks and twist them together. Once you're done twisting them together, you're going to take that 2-strand twist and wrap it around itself and then tuck the end underneath. If you want the Bantu knot to be more secure, you can secure the end with a small bobby pin. You're just going to repeat that process along the rest of your edges. Once again, take 2 locks, twist them together, wrap the 2-strand twist around itself, and tuck it in. And this is the final look. You can definitely play around with this hairstyle and combine it with others. For example, you can do this with a low ponytail, a pineapple, or low pigtails. And you can even do Bantu knots throughout your whole head if you want a more unique look. For this next hairstyle, you're going to need 1 scrunchie, but before that, to take down the Bantu knots, just simply untwist the 2-strand twist. To start the half up, half down hairstyle, you want to make sure that you're grabbing an equal amount of locks for the up part. For this, I'm kind of just eyeing it and making sure both sides line up. And to make sure the back looks neat, I am doing the same thing in the back, just feeling around and making sure the locks are lining up. From there, I'm taking the scrunchie and pulling my hair through. If you want to make this one a bun instead of it being like a ponytail, you can definitely do that as a variation as well. And that's the final look. Totally not inspired by Aaron Yeager or anything. You can also do a half up pineapple sort of look. I didn't show because I don't like the way it looks on my length anymore. The next part is the same hairstyle but with my bangs out. Throughout the rest of the video, you're going to notice that I leave my edges out because my edges tend to be weaker than the rest of my hair. The next hairstyle is going to be 2 buns, so you're going to need 2 scrunchies. Once again, you want to make sure that the amount of hair you're putting up is even on both sides so your buns are the same size. So I'm just lining that up. After that, gather your hair and pull it through the scrunchie. For this left bun, you want to make sure that the scrunchie is in your right hand for the first pull through. And then whenever we do the other side for the right bun, you want to make sure that the scrunchie is in your left hand for the first pull through. I had to adjust this bun a little bit because I pulled it too far through. You want to make sure you don't do that. A little note, your bun is only going to be as big as your shortest lock allows it to be if you don't want any of your locks to be sticking out. Once you're done with that, you're going to need to repeat that for the other side. They ended up being a little uneven, but oh well, it was still cute. You're gonna need the same amount of scrunchies for this next one. We're doing half up, half down pigtails. You know the drill. I'm just making sure it's even, and once I pull it through, I fluff it out a bit. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you grab the hair in the same area on both sides so it's not lopsided. And so the orientation of your pigtails are the same. So you don't have one that's further in front than the other or vice versa. Out of all the times I did this hairstyle, those 2 locks did not stick out like that. So I don't know why they decided to do that for this video, but I'm not mad at it. It's kind of cute. This hairstyle is not for everyone, and it looks like I'm the main character of an anime, but I think it's really cute and unique and would definitely fit an artistic looking outfit. This next hairstyle is full pigtails. Pretty self-explanatory and simple. Just make sure that your hair is split down the middle, and once again that the orientation is the same. Like the last one, pigtails may not be for everyone, but I think it's something that you don't see a lot. I didn't measure as accurately as I did for the last hairstyle, So this one did end up a little lopsided, but in my opinion, it's still cute. One thing to keep in mind is that with longer locks, your pigtails are obviously going to droop down. The shorter your locks are, the more spiky they will look. I personally love the spiky look. I think it's playful, so I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. Ah, the classic pineapple, but messier. All you're gonna need is one scrunchie. I like to do this one standing up because I throw my head forward and gather my hair that way. After I smooth the back of my head and gather my hair at the top of my head, I adjust and pick locks that I want to be in the pineapple and add it to the bunch I already have gathered. Here, since some of my locks in the back aren't long enough, they fall out and I leave them out. My locks aren't long enough for this yet, but if yours are, a variation of this has some of your locks acting as the scrunchie, or they're used to cover the scrunchie. That's the look. If I want my pineapple to be messier, I deliberately take some of the locks in the back out of the pineapple. If you don't like the messy look, you can bobby pin the locks in the back up. Next up, we have the low ponytail. This is the simplest hairstyle in this video. All you need to do is gather your hair into a low ponytail. But let me tell you, I was so excited when I realized my locks were long enough for a low ponytail. You can leave various amounts of your bangs out to frame your face. Sometimes I leave a lot, sometimes I leave a little. It just depends on the day. Essentially the same process. Also very simple. We have low pigtails. Just gather your hair on either side, but make sure it's lower and towards the back. These last two I really like. They're simple. Whenever I don't feel like doing my hair, I just throw it in a low ponytail and call it a day. Very low maintenance, easy, and quick. Now, for the final hairstyle, we have a variation of low pigtails. Low buns. The process is the same as the regular buns, but once again, you are going to make it lower and towards the back. I pulled the scrunchie through too much, but I am always one for that messier, cozy type of look. For any of these hairstyles, feel free to put your own spin on it or even combine different hairstyles to get a different look. Hopefully, if you don't use the exact hairstyles in this video, they at least serve to give you some ideas for what you can do with your locks. Okay, so that's all the hairstyles I have. I've actually never worn my hair like this before, and it is a little messy, but it's something I came up with as I was doing the other hairstyles. So now you're like, Amani, I don't have enough hair to do hairstyles with. What do I do? Well, my tip is to accessorize. Things like hair scarves can definitely spice up your look. I mean, it looks a little silly because my hair isn't down right now, but I think utilizing hair scarves is really cute. And if you're a little tomboyish like me, even do-rags. If you know where these are from, just leave a comment. And then also, one thing I did whenever I was kind of like, can't do anything with my hair because it's too short, is I used hair brushes. So I have a bunch of them. I got all my hair brushes from the thrift store. Just putting it in your hair can make you feel cute. Gives you something different to do with your hair. Loc jewelry is also something that is common. Now, with any sort of styling or using jewelry to spice up your hair, you want to be mindful of how much you're doing it and the effects it has on your hair. So I personally have never used Loc jewelry, but I can imagine it can like weigh down your hair maybe. So just be mindful of little things like that, because you always want to avoid situations that will cause your hair to thin or break. For one, I only know how to twist and braid, and that's pretty much it. I don't know how to twist to the scalp and flat twist or cornrow. Those are still things I need to teach myself how to do, and I have yet to do my own retwist. So now that I'm looking at these two, they are definitely uneven. But if you're like me, you could probably manage a twist out or a braid out. But on the flip side, if you do know how to flat twist or cornrow, that opens you up to a whole bunch of possibilities of things you can do with your hair. The possibilities are endless. You can do like 2 cornrows going down. You can do like a flat twist and then pin it to the side. You could do a halo or a crown. There's definitely tons and tons of hairstyles you can do with locks. Locks are versatile. Even if your locks are short, there are still things you can do with them, such as accessorizing, like I mentioned, that will help spice up your look a little bit. And you can even try using rubber bands for some of the styles that I used if your locks aren't as thick or mature as mine are. And like I mentioned earlier, some of the hairstyles that I did, I actually preferred the way they looked when my hair was a little bit shorter. So there are hairstyles that are going to look better on longer locks, and there's hairstyles that are going to look better on shorter locks. My advice is just to embrace your length, embrace your journey. Your hair will grow, and with growth will come versatility. I also mentioned this earlier, but be mindful of how much you're, pulling and putting tension on your hair. The hairstyles that I did in this video, I don't do that often. Just be mindful of that. You don't want to cause breakage or thinning of your locks. One last thing, just experiment with your hair. This is supposed to be a fun process. The other night I tried doing the little lock petals, and that was really fun, really time consuming. But listen closely, guys. If you want to see how my loc journey has progressed, where I started, how I got to where I am now, go check out my first video, my 1 year loc journey. Just want to thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more loc and life